And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Type 1 in the chat if you can hear me nice and clear. Type a 1, drop your city. You know the routine. Around the 2-minute mark, we're going to get started. Hope everyone's having a beautiful Sunday. Getting ready for the work week on Monday. How's it going, Darren Marion? 1. Okay, you can hear me. You can hear me. Peace, peace. Peace and blessings, everyone. So if you see me sweating like a pig, you know the routine. I can't run the air condition at the same time with the microphone because the wind will interfere with the microphone. So I have my rag to wipe my sweat from time to time. BX New York in the house. So let's do some quick housekeeping real quick because I know a lot of people are going to ask this question. Number 1, the hashtag Trump 2020. I am not a Trump supporter. I am not a Trump voter. I'm simply using the hashtag because the hashtag helps the content rank in the search engines. Because I know a lot of you are going to come in here and say, oh, you know, you must be a Trump supporter. No, I am politically agnostic. I am not a liberal, nor am I conservative. I am more of an independent, and I have a libertarian philosophy and ideology when it comes to my own personal beliefs. So I'm more of a swing voter. I vote my interests. I do not vote party. I'm not one of those people who I'm going to just support a party blindly. So I just want to get that out there, number 1. I deal in facts. And understand, this channel is for intelligent black people. I want black people, let me not even say black people, all people. I want people who are indifferent. What that means is I don't want people who are emotionally driven. I want people who are driven off of facts, data, and logic. I don't care what your race is, what your ethnicity is. I want people who can look at the information for what it is. You cannot deny the fact that when I present this information to you after today, you cannot deny the facts. See, I don't care about the messenger. I care about the message. And if the message makes sense to me, I am with that message. What ADOS did for me is it got me focused on tangible policy and information and data. I don't care about how you make me feel. I don't care if you have hot sauce in your bag. I don't care if you listen to Cardi B. I don't care if you was in Selma. I don't care what your civil rights record is. In 2019, I want to know what your agenda is. I don't even care if you're a conservative. I don't care if you are a liberal. I care, do you have a black first agenda? Is all I care about. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to sit here and lie to black people. If I see something, I will call it out. And that's just where I am. And I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, we're 3 minutes in. So now, I know after today's video, I am going to be called a coon. I am going to be called an agent. I am going to be called the Sambo. I'm going to be called everything under the sun. But again, I deal in fact. I do not deal in emotion. So now, before I begin, I'm going to play some video footage for you, factual footage, and then we're going to start building on, what's the guy's name? Victor Blackwell crying and all of that. We're going to get to all of that. But first, I want to show you the living conditions of the people in Baltimore. So let's get to that right now. Give me 1 second. Let's pull that up and let's switch this over.
Glad that he pointed out. I'm glad that he put him on blast because people in West Baltimore have been putting Elijah Cummings on him on blast for years. Ever since he's been in office, he never did anything for us. Like I said, if he's supposed to be from this neighborhood, like I said, supposed to be, the rats just didn't come. These houses just didn't get tore down. They've been like this. If he would take the time out to come over here and see how things are, maybe he'd be better at his job. Thank you.
If you can see how big the tree is in this row home, you will notice this didn't happen overnight. You think these steps are okay? They should be, right? It's a typical row home in West Baltimore. You can see more trash here as well.
Literally no back to it. Just trees that have grown there for years.
The president actually responded to Elijah Cummings, and what he said was definitely true. He hasn't done anything for us. For the last, I think he's been in office over 20 years? 30? Okay, so I was like 18 back then, and he hasn't done anything for us.
And all this.
For double ground.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Dude.
Meanwhile, they're worried about the kids at the border.
Right, exactly. And
But this is how actual American citizens gotta live and deal with.
I wonder how the Mexican like.
And man, now tell me,
It's gotta
me
be
living
worse
in this
than
house with all this, tell me I didn't have rats and rodents. He told me I was lying.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
oh, well, that's crazy.
Yep.
That's common sense. You
He
can
told
see-
me I was lying. There was no rats and rodents. We just didn't want to pay.
You can see that it's terrible.
So as you can see, I'm coming with the straight facts tonight. I am not coming in here trying to play any games. I don't have time for you to come on here talking about Trump this and Trump that. This is a congressional district in America. This is not. These are third world countries. This is third world country living conditions. This is an American metropolitan city. This is an urban city. This is one of the largest urban cities here in America. And what we have to begin to do, we have to take the emotion out of everything all the time, looking to be outraged in oh, Trump this. I don't care about the messenger. I care about the message. So now, Trump put out the tweets. We're about to get to the tweets in a second. But again, I just want to make this clear. Let me have a sip of water real quick. I'm stuttering. So now, when you see these politicians like Elijah Cummings, understand Elijah Cummings has been in Congress since 1996. Since 1996, he has been a congressman. So now we must begin to ask the question, how effective is he? How effective is his leadership if you have American citizens living in those type of conditions? Oh, trust me, this video is going. The video footage I have, it gets even worse than that. I wanted to preference this so that we can understand the living conditions that our people are in. So now we're going to play Victor Blackwell's "Weeping," right? Because he's not rooted in logic and fact. And remember, yesterday I did a live stream and I was talking about racism, and race is a business in America. Keeping you emotional, constantly pulling on your heartstrings, getting you outraged is a business because it keeps you illogical. It doesn't keep you focused on the data and the information and looking at who is Elijah Cummings representing? Who is Elijah Cummings fighting for? Elijah Cummings fights harder for illegal immigrants than he does for his own citizens. And we're going to get to all of that later on. I'm going to prove this with facts. And instead of crying, Victor Blackwell is supposed to be from Baltimore. He should be demanding Elijah Cummings do better. Where are the resources and the policies that are going to lift his district up out of poverty? So now, let's get to the actual scene and part right now. Give me a second. Let's pull that up. Boom. Let's go here. Let's play.
This morning, the president attacked another member of Congress on Twitter. This time, it's House Oversight Committee Chairman Elijah Cummings. He wrote this: Cummings' district is a disgusting, rat and rodent-infested mess. If he spent more time in Baltimore, maybe he could help clean up this very dangerous.
Now, understand, for copyright purposes, I have to interrupt every 20 to 30 seconds. Understand, these tweets right here are not an attack. These tweets right here are facts. Donald Trump is pointing out the facts. We just seen the living conditions of the people in Baltimore. We just seen all of that trash in the back of people's houses. You mean to tell me that you don't think that there's rodents back there? If people are living in those type of conditions, you don't think that there's rats and roaches in those living conditions? Let's be honest here, people, and thank you for the donation, Chess Champ 1000. Right? Now, this guy has been there since 1996. It's 2019. Let's play it again. Let's keep going.
Dangerous and filthy place. No human being would want to live there. Infested. That's usually reserved for references to rodents and insects, but we've seen the president invoke infestation to criticize lawmakers before. You see a pattern here? Just 2 weeks ago.
And all of these politicians that you see on the screen, what is their black agenda? Right here. Let's go back real quick. I want you to look at these people right here. These 6 people you see on the screen. What's their black agenda? What's their black agenda? All these 6 people right here represent immigrants more than they represent black people. And don't come on here telling me I'm xenophobic. Look at these 6 people right here. And I want you to ask a legitimate question. What is their black agenda for American descendants of slavery? Not people from Ghana, not people from Ethiopia, not people from the Sudan, not Jamaicans, right? Not people of color. I'm not a person of color. I'm a black man. What is their agenda for black people in this country? See, they want to lump us in and call us people of color for a reason. A person of color can be anyone. Thank you for the donation, Phoenix. What's their agenda for black people, American descendants of slavery? Because I'm about to play some video footage when they was caping for these illegal immigrants, and they wasn't going hard. I've never seen Elijah Cummings go that hard for black people as he went for people who are illegally entering into this country, not asylum-seeking people, right? So understand, I'm not being xenophobic. I'm being real.
Just 2 weeks ago, President Trump attacked 4 minority congresswomen. Why don't they go back to the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came? Reminder, 3 of them were born here. All of them are American. Infested, he says. A week before his inauguration, January 2017, Congressman John Lewis should spend more time on fixing and helping his district, which is in horrible shape and falling apart, not to mention crime-infested. Donald Trump has tweeted more than 43,000 times. He's insulted thousands of people, many different types of people. But when he tweets about infestation, it's about black and brown people. September 2014, at the height of an urgent health emergency.
There we go again. Black and brown people. Black and brown people. And thank you for the donation, Malcolm Truth and Zenman BX. There we go again with that black and brown people. See, they are trying to lump us in with illegal immigrants. And I'm going to get into how illegal immigration hurts black people. I'm going to get into that as well with data and facts and logic and truth. But here we go again with that black and brown alliance. Where are all these brown people when we are being gunned down? Where are all these brown people when we are out here in the street marching for injustices against us? Where's this black and brown alliance when we need them? When they're taking our jobs, where's that black and brown alliance and allegiance at?
Why are we sending thousands of ill-trained soldiers into Ebola-infested areas of Africa? Bring the plague to the U.S.? Obama is so stupid. Infested, he says. There's a revolution going on in California. So many sanctuary areas want out of this ridiculous crime-infested and breeding concept. Infested, he says. The president says about Congressman Cummings' district.
Now look at him butting his lip back and forth. Look at him struggling to try to get a tear out. This is exactly Erica Thomas. This is Erica Thomas 2.0. Look how hard he's trying to struggle to get those tears out. Again, emotion. They're trying to emotionally bait you. Instead of having you look at the logic and the facts. The district is infested with crime. It is infested with rodents. Look at him. Look how hard he's trying. Look at this. Look at this. Trying his hardest to cry.
That no human would want to live there. You know who did, Mr. President? I did. From the day I was brought home from the hospital to the day I left for college. And a lot of people I care about still do. There are challenges, no doubt.
Now, Let's play that again. Let's. I want you to hear the key word he said. He said, "I did live there." Did means past tense. So you know what that tells me? He left there. Why did he leave the city of Baltimore? Because he knows in his heart of hearts that the city of Baltimore is not a place to raise a family. The city of Baltimore is not a place that he wants to live, which is why he left. He said, I did, which means he left. It's a reason why. I want to play that for you again so you can hear him say it. I did.
From the day I was brought home from this, the president says about Congressman Cummings' district, that no human would want to live there. You know who did, Mr. President? I did. From the day I was brought home from the hospital to the day I left for college. And a lot of people I care about still do. There are challenges, no doubt. But people...
Key word. Did you hear what he said? I did. And to the day I went to college. I did. Which means he got the hell up out of there because he knows the living conditions are not conditions that you want to be in. They're not conditions that you want to be in, which is why he got up out of there. Do you know what the unemployment rate is in Baltimore between the ages of 18 and 32? Do you know what the living conditions are and the unemployment rate? It's 50%. 50%. Now, we're about to watch Elijah Cummings. Look how hard he's about to go for people who are trying to illegally enter into this country. I want you to see how this right now is from a week ago. I think a week or two ago when they were talking about the border. And I want you to see, I want you to listen to how the veracity and how strong and ferocious he is. And he's just going hard. Got to look out for the living conditions of the people that are in these quote-unquote detention centers. Listen to this.
Stories coming out from you and your agency that everything is pretty good and you're doing a great job. I guess you feel like you're doing a great job, right? Is that what you're saying?
We're doing our level best in a very challenging.
What does that mean? What does that mean when a child is sitting in their own feces, can't take a shower? Come on, man. What's that about? None of us would have our children in that position. They are human beings.
What are the people in Baltimore, Elijah Cummings? Are the people in Baltimore human beings? What are the people in Baltimore, Elijah Cummings? Look how hard he's going for non-U.S. citizens. Now, does he go that hard to bring tangible resources to his district? Does he go that hard to bring tangible resources to his district in Baltimore? He's going this hard for non-U.S. citizens. He's grilling this guy, going this hard. But will he go this hard to bring tangible resources to his people in his district? He's been there for 30 years. Does he go this hard to bring resources back? And the conditions is showing you, the living conditions of the people in Baltimore should show you he does not go that hard for his district.
It's not the deed that you do to a child, it's the memory. It's the memory. We are the United States of America. We are the greatest country in the world. We are the ones that can go anywhere in the world and save people. Make sure that they have diapers. Make sure that they have toothbrushes. Make sure that they're not laying around defecating in some silver paper.
This president have had a history.
Now again, you see that? You see the emotion that he's putting out? See how hard that he's willing to go? Do you see that? Now, this is in front of the city hall in Baltimore. I want you to hear what these people have to say. I want you to hear what these people have to say.
Attacking minorities. He attacked the congresswomen. He's attacking Elijah Cummings. Who else is he going to attack?
Now, is that an attack when you're asking a tangible, legitimate question? Why are you not fighting that hard for U.S. citizens? Why are you not fighting that hard for the people in your district? Why are you not fighting that hard? That's not attacking anyone. If me holding you accountable as my representative is me attacking you, then you do not need to be there. Right? If you cannot bring back tangible resources, thank you for the donation, Joel Hogan. If you cannot bring me back tangible resources, if you cannot invoke and spark and revitalize the community and bring change, then you do not need to be in that seat. You have been there since 1996. What have you brung to your district that has changed it and transformed it and revitalized it? Nothing. Instead, what I see you doing every time I see Elijah Cummings in the media, he is caping and vouching for non-U.S. citizens. Now, listen to what this guy says. We're going to listen to what this is. I think he is the city councilman. Listen to what he has to say.
We're going to push forward without anyone's help. That's what our city is based on. We are a gritty, grimy place. We come back from odds that no one think we can do. And if anyone's unsure about that, watch Showtime tonight and you'll see what Baltimore is all about.
I'm glad that he pointed out. I'm glad that
we come back from all
attacking
our city is based on. We are a gritty, grimy place. We come back from odds that no one think we can do. And if anyone's unsure about that, watch Showtime tonight and you'll see what.
He said we are a gritty, grimy city. And from the looks of it, you are a gritty, grimy city. You just basically said the exact words that Trump said. You are validating what he said. We are a gritty, grimy city. Yes, because your congressman is failing you. He is not bringing you anything tangible but rhetoric and talking about his civil rights record. His civil rights record. When you are out here, because see, this whole back and forth between Trump and Elijah Cummings has been going on now for about 2 years now. And it's stemming from the border and border funding. And Trump is doing a beautiful job. And even ADOS is doing a beautiful job of waking people up to, these are your representatives. Those 6 people that I showed you, the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes, the Ilhan Omars, the John Lewises, the Elijah Cummings, what are you doing for your district? Or do you care more about getting airtime on CNN caping for illegals and open borders? Now I want to ask you a question. How does illegal immigration benefit ADOS? How does having more low-skilled people competing for jobs benefit us? How does giving free health care to illegals benefit us? How does giving free college to illegals benefit us? How does it benefit us? See, when you start asking that question, understand that there's a finite amount of jobs. There's only a certain amount of jobs. And if you bring more people into this country to compete with you for those jobs, that means that there's more people competing for the same amount of jobs. Doesn't benefit us. And this is not pro-Trump talk. And this is why I said, guys, we got to be intelligent as a people. We got to stop being emotional. As I said to the beginning of this video, I do not support either party. I am an independent. But I can represent a fact when I see one. We're not talking about deregulation. We're not talking about gentrification. We're talking about tweets. Tweets being critical of a congressman who has been there for 20 plus years, since 1996. This man has been sitting there. And we're asking a simple question. What has he done? Why does his district look the way that it does? Is what we're asking. What policies does Elijah Cummings support that is going to revitalize that community? I care about tangibles. I care about policy. I don't care about rhetoric. I don't care about who's a racist and who's not a racist, who's xenophobic and who's not xenophobic, who's homophobic and who's not homophobic. I don't care about LGBTQZABG, because before you are any of those things, you are black. That's what black first is supposed to mean. Before you are conservative, you are black. Before you are a Democrat, you are black. Before you are LGBTQ, trans, Zan, whatever you want to call yourself, you are black. And this is what we have to get in our minds. We're black. And I want to know, what are you doing for the people who look just like you? Because guess what? Every other group focuses on their group first. When you see these illegals come over here, do they assimilate into black culture? When you see these, think about it. There's a little Italy. I guarantee you, go into your urban city, you'll find a little Italy. You'll find a Koreatown. The Jewish people got their own communities, their own stores. Everybody else focuses on their group but us, because we're worried about racism. We're worried about feminism. We're worried about the LGBTQ community. You're black first before you're anything. They come into this community, they set up shop, and then guess what they do? They send money back to their country. It's called remittance. Go study it. Go look it up. See, I can be critical. I can critique a black person, but it's coming from a good place. Criticism is not bad, but I understand group economics first. My group comes first. I understand the importance of group. Even if I disagree with you, I understand the importance of group first, because everyone else practices group first. So what I'm asking you is, now that Trump has put the spotlight on Elijah Cummings, going back full circle, because we're about to get into the living conditions again of Baltimore, I ask you, I beg of you, what policy, what tangibles is Elijah Cummings bringing that is going to fix this?
I'm glad.
In West Baltimore. You can see more trash here as well.
Literally no back to it. Just trees that have grown there for years.
The president actually responded to Elijah Cummings, and what he said was definitely true. He hasn't done anything for us. For the last, I think he's been in office over 20 years? 30? Okay, so I was like 18 back then, and he hasn't done anything for us.
And all this.
Put dump ground.
Yep.
That's terrible.
Meanwhile, they're worried about the kids at the border.
Right, exactly.
But this is how actual American citizens gotta live and deal with.
I wonder how the Mexican like.
And man, now tell me,
It's gotta
me
be
living in
worse
this house with all this, tell me I didn't have rats and rodents. He told me I was lying.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
well, that's crazy.
Yep.
That's common sense.
He told me I was lying. There was no rats and rodents. He just didn't want to pay.
You can see that it's terrible.
And then y'all just want to know about the houses. He hasn't done anything. Today is Saturday, July the 27th, 2019, not 1819. It's today. It's a little bit after 6 p.m.
3 to 6 months. I mean, he said 2 to 3 months to bring me a trash can like that.
And the reason why I picked this RE to show you is because of the colleges, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They spent all that money on the college and just left everything around it. Just like this. Look up in there.
But do people live in the college area?
Thank you for the donation, Terrell Bembry. Again, we're gonna keep playing this. Do you see this? Do you see the living conditions that these people are living in? Excuse me. Do you see the living conditions? I want to tell you something else. As of July 11th, there has been 171 murders in Baltimore. 13 of those happened since July 1st. What is a pattern that we see in large urban cities? We see high amounts of poverty, which is directly correlated to high amounts of violence, high unemployment rates. And yes, guys, please hit that like button. It helps the content rank in the search engine. I want to repeat that to you. There's been 171 murders. 171 murders, 13 since July 1st in Baltimore. And this man is out here, he's getting emotional and he's going up and down. Let's play again how he speaks about illegal immigrants in this country. Let's get to it. Look how he's speaking before illegals.
Coming out from you and your agency that everything is pretty good and you're doing a great job. I guess you feel like you're doing a great job, right? Is that what you're saying?
We're doing our level best in a very
What does that mean? What does that mean when a child is sitting in their own feces, can't take a shower? Come on, man. What's that about? None of us would have our children in that position.
What about the children of Baltimore? Look. That's why I just want you to see how out of touch these politicians are. This has nothing to do with supporting Trump. This has nothing to... those tweets are an indictment of Elijah Cummings' track record. That's an indictment. This man is getting emotional over the living conditions of people who are willfully breaking our laws. But he's not getting emotional over the condition of his congressional district. Over the condition. He's not.
They are human beings. It's not the deed that you do to a child, it's the memory. It's the memory. We are the United States of America. We are the greatest country in the world. We are the ones that can go anywhere in the world and save people. Make sure that they have diapers.
So why can't you go to Baltimore and save the people of Baltimore? Because guys, it's going to get worse in a second. The conditions that I show you only get worse. He said we can go anywhere in the world and we can save people. We can give them diapers and we can give them toothbrushes. So my question to him is that if we can go anywhere in the world and save people, why can't we go to your congressional district, your district first and save those people? Why can't we save your people? Why are there so many abandoned homes in Baltimore? Right? Look at this guy.
Out. But there's a revolution going on in California. So many sanctuary areas want out of this ridiculous crime-infested and breeding concept. Infested, he says. The president says about Congressman Cummings' district, that no human would want to live there. You know?
No human, you know why no human wants to live there? Because you don't live there. You don't live there. See what he just said? Trump said no human wants to be there. So why don't you live there anymore? Oh, I know why. I know why you don't want to live there.
Oh, who did, Mr. President? I did. From the day I was brought home from the hospital to the day I left for college. And a lot of people I care about still do. There are challenges, no doubt. But people
Look at that. Look, listen to this. Look at that. Look at
areas want out of this ridiculous crime-infested and breeding concept. Infested, he says. The president says about Congressman Cummings' district, that no human would want to live there. You know who did, Mr. President? I did. From the day I was brought home from the hospital to the day I left for college. And a lot of people I care about still do. There are challenges, no doubt.
So you know what that means? Like Hunter said, went to college and he never looked back. Never went to college and see, CNN loves guys like Victor Blackwell, Van Jones, because they can be brought. Give them a nice job, Roland Martin. I want you to think about all of these political talking heads right now who are telling us those ADOS people better get in line. I want you to think about all of the Don Lemons, the Roland Martins, the Victor Blackwells, the Van Jones. I want you to think they all telling us we better get back in line because we're starting to think for ourselves and we're asking tangible questions. What are you providing for us? Why are you representing us? Notice that. I really want you to think about what's really going on in our political climate. See, it's one thing to debate information, right? It's nothing wrong with debating if you feel that someone's information is incorrect, right? It's nothing wrong with debating that. But basically telling people that we got to get in line and then trying to emotionally bait us. He got the hell up out of Baltimore because he knew what was in Baltimore. And then you heard he said, we have our challenges, no doubt. Yeah. You know what your challenges are? This is your challenges. This is the challenge.
Living in college, right?
I don't know. All these houses are like this. This
Oh
whole
my
neighborhood.
God.
That's why I say, Ty, I know the best neighborhood. All of this stuff is like this.
Well, you did.
Yeah, I was like,
Wow, I just think it's probably homeless people living weird somewhere.
The house, as far as the house and everything, like I said, he has never done anything for not even one person that I know of. I never heard anybody say anything about him. And people want to talk about Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. Why is this man over there taking care of people at the border? We hungry. We need a place to stay. We feel like we're in a concentration camp. And it's just sad.
Did you hear what she just said? I want you to hear what the sister just said because it's important what she just said. She even said, we in a concentration camp? You talking about people at the border. I'm gonna replay this for you one more time. Listen to what she had to say.
People want to talk about Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. Why is this man over there taking care of people at the border? We hungry. We need a place to stay. We feel like we're in a concentration camp. And it's just sad. He worried more about them than his own people. It's just crazy.
So you could have people living right next door to empty ones all the time.
Well, you see
yeah,
where I
just
live
about.
at.
It's like that in the city. Just about every other 2 or 3 houses, or at least 1 or 2 are going to be empty.
But you seen that where I live at.
You
Right.
see this house right here. Look in that window. You can tell they're clean and perfectly up to par. But look at the house next to them.
Yeah.
Rat infested. There's so many rats and mouses living there. It's terrible. And then people.
Did you just hear what the guy in the background said? Did you hear what the guy in the background said? He said there's so many rats, it's infested. Did you hear what the guy who's living in the conditions had to say? This is not me speaking. This is not Trump speaking. These are people who are on the ground in Baltimore and they're speaking and they're showing you their living conditions. And how come when people speak up for themselves and tell you their plight and what's going on with them, these people in D.C., these talking heads, the Roland Martins, the Van Jones, the people who, the Boulay who got up out of there, they tell them to be quiet. You complaining. Oh, you just want Trump to win. Who gives a damn if Trump loses or wins if you're not going to do nothing for me? Who cares if you beat Donald Trump if you're not going to bring any tangibles back to the District of Baltimore and help those people? This is why I laugh at the Talib Kweli's and the Kamala Harris's and the Roland Martins, the people telling you, oh, you better vote, because if you don't vote, Trump's going to win. Who gives a damn if Kamala wins if she's not going to do nothing? Okay, we beat Trump in 2020. What does that mean for the people of Baltimore? What does that mean for ADOS? Yeah, we won another election. That's great. So you can give us trickle-down politics? Oh, you're going to give us criminal justice reform. Newsflash, all black people aren't criminals. So what are you going to do for the black people that aren't criminals? Oh, we're going to give you some health care. Everyone gets that. See, the reason why people are trying to identify themselves because everyone else can identify themselves. The Mexicans can identify themselves and their needs and their wants. The LGBTQZ and A and B and whatever letter they want to use, they can identify themselves. But when the ADOS tries to identify themselves, now we're being xenophobic. No, we want some resources to revitalize and fix our communities because you've been in office now for 20 plus years and you've done nothing. And who gives a damn, okay, you beat Trump in 2020. What does that do for ADOS? And see, by us staying on code, it's forcing these politicians to have to get a black agenda. Now you hear Bernie, now all of a sudden Bernie Sanders is saying, oh, you know, I support HR 40. Now Kamala Harris is coming out saying, oh yeah, here's $100 billion for redlining. Now Joe Biden wants to go back on his whole crime bill. He has a new bill coming out to fix what he did. You know why they're doing that? Because they're seeing black people are on code. ADOS is on code. No tangibles, no vote. No real transformative policy, no vote. That's what we care about. We care about tangibles. You know what they care about? Getting a job on CNN. All Roland Martin cares about is getting a job on CNN. Roland Martin doesn't care about the people there. And guys, hit that like button. It helps the content rank in the search engines.
Just throw their trash right out back. That's crazy.
But the city doesn't come to get it.
But they won't pick it up. They will not pick that up because it's not in the can. If it's not one of them green cans, they're not going to touch it. That's what they told me. They said it's a bad, and what they do is some other people come with some orange stickers, right? And they'll go through the trash, and whoever's name is on any mail, they put an orange sticker on there, and you'll get a fine for that. So at least they're doing that.
I think I remember where I was. Oh, this is forever.
And it's right next to the cows. That's
Yeah, and the front is the college.
The college is right here.
You got spent all this money on cop in the south, but left the neighborhood alone. Just
Kim.
raggedy.
Excuse me for venting like this, world, but it breaks my heart to see this. It does. This neighborhood, the last time this neighborhood was thriving was 2003. 2003. That's a...
Do you hear what the lady just said? The last time her neighborhood was thriving was in 2003. This is the person who's living in that community, and she said the last time it was thriving was in 2003. Elijah Cummings.
A long time ago. That's a long time ago. It's just sad. And then they want to take the houses that look nice on the outside. They come around film houses that look nice on the inside, outside, but really don't nobody live in them houses. And they tore up from the floor.
Concept. Infested, he says. The president says about Congressman Cummings' district, that no human would want to live there. You know who did, Mr. President? I did. From the day I was brought home from the hospital to the day I left for college. And a lot of people I care about still do. There are challenges, no doubt.
We hear about stories coming out from you and your agency that everything is pretty good and you're doing a great job. I guess you feel like you're doing a great job, right? Is that what you're saying?
We're doing our level best in a very
What does that...
Now, my question, Elijah Cummings, is what kind of job are you doing for Baltimore? Because we just watched 5 minutes of video footage. What are you doing for Baltimore? So we don't gotta play this anymore. Let's flip it back over. We don't have to play this anymore. I've made my point. You see the conditions that the people are living in Baltimore. Unemployment rate between the ages of 18 and 32 is over 50%. Property values are suppressed. People are fleeing the city. And here we have a man who's been there since 1996. And his district looks like a third world country. And he's here going hard for non-U.S. citizens. This is where we are. As I said, look at the Rashida Tlaibs, the Ilhan Omars, the John Lewises, the Elijah Cummings. These are representatives, and they are holding hearings about the living conditions of non-U.S. citizens. Now, as I said earlier, the truth hurts. It does. You may not like Trump. You may think he's a bigot. You may think he's a racist. That's not the point. I don't care about the messenger. I care about the message. Is the message truthful? Is it racist to critique someone? Is it racist to call out the truth? Is it racist to acknowledge the fact that this man has been there for 20 plus years and done nothing for his people? A predominantly black district? Do you know the level of corruption in government in Baltimore? I can do a whole hour stream on how Baltimore gets grants and funding from the federal government and the money never makes it to the people. And understand Baltimore is a predominantly black city. It's predominantly black. And you have these politicians who get in office to make money, to enrich themselves. And you know why they're focusing on illegals instead of U.S. citizens? Because they want to replace us. That's the whole purpose. They want a whole new voting bloc. And it's time for us to push back and organize. And see, this is what ADOS is about, in my opinion. See, I can't speak for Yvette and Tone. I would never try to do that. They know way more about reparations and politics than I ever could know. I'm not trying to pretend to be an expert, but I have common sense. And from my perspective, I support ADOS because it's getting people on code to support policy and not support politicians, and to demand that they represent us and do what we've elected them to do. As I said before, I can't speak for all ADOS. I can't. I only can speak for myself. I'm learning new stuff every day. But I know one thing, Elijah Cummings is not the answer. Elijah Cummings isn't representing me or people who look like me. Elijah Cummings isn't representing his district. Victor Blackwell isn't representing ADOS. Victor Blackwell represents himself. Victor Blackwell represents Boulay. Victor Blackwell represents opportunists. Van Jones, Victor Blackwell, Roland Martin, Jamel Hill. The list goes on of people who are opportunists, who speak black, who talk black, but when they get behind closed doors, they don't care about black. As I said before, we could be critical of each other all day long. We can critique each other all day long. But when it comes time for tangible policy, if you're bringing me something tangible, I support that. We could debate doctrines. We could debate philosophies, ideology all day long. I don't care if you're a conservative. I don't care if you are a liberal. Those things are titles. I care about what are you trying to do to uplift ADOS in this country? That's what I care about the most. You could be a Muslim, you could be white, Asian. If you are bringing something tangible that can uplift people, I will support that. But I'm not going to support another group before I support my group. I don't care how much I may disagree with that individual. I believe in black first because, as I said before, every other group thinks they're group first. Go into any urban city, you're going to see a Korean town. You're going to see, like I said, a little Italy. Here in New York City, we have Washington Heights. We have Dykeman, full of Dominicans, full of Puerto Ricans. We have the Lower East Side. Go up in the North Bronx. Go up on White Plains Road. You don't see nothing but Jamaicans. They got that whole area. Go in parts of Brooklyn. The Trinidadians, the Grenadians, everybody has their own area. And then you go look at the living conditions, the economic conditions of American descendants of slaves. Go look at our conditions. What thriving economic hubs do we have? Ask yourself a legitimate question. What thriving hubs do we have as a people? And now that we're trying to basically speak about that, now all of a sudden we're xenophobic. Now all of a sudden, we're trying to help Trump get elected. No, we're trying to define ourselves. Every other group has their own hub, their own culture, their own identity that they can align with. So how come when we want to try to self-identify ourselves, now all of a sudden it's a problem? Even Africans, when they come over here, they have their culture, they have their identity, they have their people. And I'm not here saying there's anything wrong with that. You're supposed to support your group first. So let us support our group first. It's not about being xenophobic. It's not about letting Trump win. As I said before, what good is it to beat Trump if it does nothing for us? We know the data. We can see the wealth gap. We see everything. We need something that's going to actually transform and change things. So now let's get to some questions. We're coming up on an hour. Let's see what we got here. Let's get to some questions. Let's see what's going on. Legal immigration, allowing white immigration only. What's ADOS? Go to ADOS101.com and it will break down everything to you for American descendants of slavery. Malcolm Truth, Agree Christ Messiah. They are all sellouts. I totally agree. Humble servant, 100%. Kevin Hadley says Blackwell represents LGBTQ. I agree. Every blackface you see on TV, straight up. True Navy 31. The black boule is dying. I agree. Guys, hit that like button. It helps the content rank in the search engines. Share the content. Thank you. Let's get to some of the donations too for those of you who had donated. Let me just say thank you one more time because we're wrapping this up soon. We're gonna go about five more minutes. Chess Champ, thank you. Phoenix, thank you. Zenman BX, thank you. Malcolm Truth, thank you. Terrell Bembry, thank you. Joel Hogan, thank you. And it looks like okay. And again, thank you again, Terrell Bembry. So, boom, 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 boom. Get to some of these questions in here. Tupac didn't even like those Be More conditions. Yeah. But the very first thing about ADOS is, guys, we gotta, educate ourselves a little bit more. Make sure that we're nuanced in the issues. Because as I said before, I'm not one of these ADOS or nothing persons. Thank you again, Dollar Bill, for the donation as well. I don't care if you support NARC and Cobra. I don't care what you support, as long as it's rooted in trying to get things done, right? I'm tired of rhetoric, right? I'm tired of just, talking about things. Anchor yourself in the data, and then get out here and start getting people on code. And this is what the internet is for. The internet is supposed to be about getting out here, putting the information in people, and then organizing. And as I said before, and I said this yesterday, I don't believe we're going to get reparations in 2020. I would be lying to you if I thought that all of a sudden we're going to get a $17 trillion or $15 trillion stimulus package, reparations with land and free tuition and checks and all that. I would be lying to you. I don't believe we're going to get that. But I believe that ADOS is setting up something that in the future is going to be powerful from the standpoint of we're identifying ourselves and we're coming together and we're getting together. And I like what you just said, in my zone. They are a part of the Black Boule. I'm not discrediting that. I'm saying that some people may want to be a part of the Boule. I don't mind you being a part of the Boule or whatever it is. I just care about the fact that you are working towards something. We over here with ADOS, we understand what we're doing is different. We're anchoring ourselves in information. We're trying to make sure, but some people like the Boule. Long as you are trying to focus on something, though, right? Get in touch with something. Educate yourself on the issues, because guess what? And Cobra may teach you something that you may not have learned at ADOS. You may learn something over at NARC. That's all. Listen. But I really believe that ADOS is going to transform politics for us as a people. I really believe that going forward, we're going to be focused more on tangible policy, and we're not going to be focused on, just rhetoric anymore. You're not going to be able to come and pull a hot sauce out your bag, and listen to Cardi B and think we're going to vote for you. And see, that's what Kamala Harris is learning now, is that it's not that I'm not anti-black. I mean, I'm not checking people's black card. I'm not anti-immigration, right? I'm not anti-black immigrant. That's not who I am. What I'm saying is run on being a black immigrant. Run on being a person of privilege. But don't try to be sister girl Kamala from the block. And see, this is why she's struggling to get the black vote and to take off, because her and Cory Booker, we look at them and we don't identify with them. And we don't identify with the policies that they support. We just don't. Right? And as I said before, you may see me come on here and I may disagree with the Tariq. I may disagree with Rizza Islam. I may disagree with the Yvette about a particular issue or a particular, data point or ideology. But at the end of the day, if you're bringing something tangible to the table that it may not even benefit me, but it may benefit the collective, I will support that. Now, some people may say, "Oh, that's being hypocritical." No, it's not being hypocritical. It just means that we have a different philosophy and different ideology. But I still believe in uplifting the collective, because I understand most of the people whom I interact with on a daily basis look like me. And what may be good for me as an individual is not good for the collective. Now, again, that may sound hypocritical to you. Cool. At some point in life, we all become hypocrites. But I still understand the importance of black first. And I stand on that. And that's where we go from there. We're not going to get it, but yeah, standing together. But Tito, that's what 100% what it's about, is standing together. Because as you can see, by us standing together the way that we did, look at these politicians now trying to, give us a little trickle. But we want more. Now, if let's say that Kamala Harris, she didn't come with reparations, but she came with a sizable amount of money, and programs and stuff that really could benefit us, I would support that, right? I'm not one of these extremists where it's like all or nothing, but it has to be tangible. It has to be tangible. It has to be. I like what Humble Servant said. He said ADOS is not a sprint. This is a marathon. Stay on code, family. Soon they'll be coming to the neighborhoods asking for your vote. You ask them, what do you get for your vote? I agree, Humble Servant, 100%. I 100% agree with that. I agree with you as well, Phoenix. Just stay on code. That's the most important thing. And that's why I said before, internally we can disagree. It's nothing wrong with disagreeing. Even if you're a conservative, if you are a, a liberal, whatever you identify yourself with, the most important thing is I want tangibles. That's all I care about. Is tangible policy. That's it. And DW, you may be correct. You may be correct as well. You may. I don't see anything wrong with uniting. The question is, what am I uniting with? Right? I care more about who am I unifying with. I'm not going to just unify with anyone because you look like me. Because we can look at the Congressional Black Caucus and we can see all skin folk isn't kinfolk. So just because you may look like me, look at Joanne Reed. Should I unify with her? How does unifying with Joanne Reed and what she stands for benefit me? Right? So I'm not going to just unify with a person for the sake of unity, you know. And this is why, this is where we run into problems. And this is where, like, you know, me and the Rizza Islams and stuff like that, I'm not unifying with the Nation of Islam. Like, you can't convince me because they've proven that, you know, I'm not just unifying with you to unify. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. I'm not unifying with Joanne Reed. I'm not unifying with Kamala Harris. I'm not unifying with Cory Booker. Just because a person looks like me doesn't mean they represent me. Because look, unifying with Elijah Cummings, look what unifying with Elijah Cummings has done. The people of Baltimore have been unified with Elijah Cummings for a very long time. Right? The people in Baltimore, they've been unified with Elijah Cummings for 20 plus years. What has that done for them? Not much. I like that, Paul. A big tent is only good for a circus. I'm going to steal that. A big tent is only good for a circus. I am definitely going to steal that, Paul. And that is going to be the title of one of my next videos. A big tent is only good for a circus. I like that. That's a good one. I like that. Okay, so we'll go 3 more minutes and then we'll shut it down from there. Hit that like button, guys. We'll go about 3 more minutes. I enjoy this. So, but as I said before, guys, I'm still learning as well. I'm still learning as well. I'm still growing and developing as well. Right? I'm still growing and learning, and that's what this whole process is about. I like what Dennis Jackson says, black ain't flat. We must vet people. Yep. Chess Champ is right. They can't debunk Trump's comments, so they deflect and call him a racist. And that's what I was saying yesterday. Racism is a hustle in this country. Racism is a hustle. Now, again, I'm not here to knock someone's hustle, but just because you're trying to hustle race doesn't mean you're going to hustle me. Right? Just because you're hustling race doesn't mean you're going to hustle me. Right? I'm about tangible. You have to come to me with logic and fact. And that's a problem with a lot of people. We get emotional. Like right now, I guarantee there are going to be some people who dislike this because I'm criticizing Elijah Cummings. And they're going to say, why are you always attacking the black man for? But then I made a Bernie Sanders video and people get mad at that. You know? That's a good question, MT Esquire. I'm going to write that question down and go do my research on it. Let me write that question down. That's a good question. I don't have an answer right now, MT Esquire. Let me write that down and I'll get back to you. Do you believe that we need to change the U.S. Census? Let me write that down. That is a good question. I'm going to go look into it. Boom, 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 boom. Because I know they was trying to change the census for illegal immigrants, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have an answer, so I'm going to go look that up. And I will get back to you. I like to look into things before I just speak. Happy Cummings needs to be called out by everyone. Yeah, he does. He needs to be critiqued. And you know what, Alicia? I was about to end the live stream, and you just brought, and that's how I like to entertain a chat, because you just made a great point. Do you see how people automatically, how resistant they are to ADOS? Because people have been so used to us just lying dormant for so long. They've been so used to us just taking whatever these politicians give us. And now that we're trying to identify ourselves, you see the pushback that we get? And it's so funny. Every time I say 5 more minutes, I go another 10, right? Yvette is probably one of the most perfect people to kind of be like the figurehead, the face, because you can't call her homophobic because she's a lesbian, right? You can't call her a racist because she's biracial, right? Like, you can't call her that, you know? So it's like, you can't really hit her with the typical attacks that you do, because she checks all boxes, right? So you can't be like, oh, well, she's xenophobic, or, you know, she's homophobic, you know, like, because she checks all of the boxes that you would want to check. So it's like, it's hard for her to attack her. It's like, it's hard to attack her because she's like so diverse. And all ADOS is just simply saying is that we just want to identify ourselves. We don't want to be a person of color, right? A POC can be anyone. I hate that. I hate person of color, right? Like, that can be anyone. Because, see, they want to try to strip our identity because they want to strip the damage that they've done to us. They do not want to be held accountable for the damage that they've inflicted upon us. You know, and that's one of the most important things that I think ADOS is doing. Because, like I said, if you asked me in my heart of hearts, who am I politically? I would say I'm an independent. And I identify with the libertarian ideology because I believe in doing for self. Because I was forced to do for self. Right? Oh, Warren Fegan said she's not. Well, then I stand corrected. I thought that she said she had like 30% European in her, but maybe both her parents are black. I could say I misspoke on that. Not biracial. Sorry about that. I misspoke. My bad. I made a mistake. She just real light. I thought that she was biracial. My bad. But what was I about this? What was I saying? Damn, you made me lose my train. Oh yeah, my political leanings. If you had to ask me what my political leanings are, I would say that I'm a libertarian and I'm an independent, right? Because I've always had to do for self. But I also understand just because I had to do for self, that doesn't mean that that's what's beneficial for the collective. You see what I'm trying to say? So like, I can have my own personal beliefs that I live my life. And that's why, like, that's what bothers me with the Boyce Watkins types, is that what may work for you doesn't work for everyone, right? Because everyone may not have the same resources, the same work ethic, in the same situation as you. So I can't just come and put a blanket on you and just say, do for self. And we just pick yourself up by your bootstraps, because some people don't even have no boots. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the reality of the situation. That's just the reality. So that's where I stand. So I can have my own personal beliefs for myself, but that doesn't mean that I want to try to impose those personal beliefs on you. Because, again, as I said before, I just understand the need for a collective agenda that's going to benefit all people. Somebody says they are just like, yeah. Again, I just assumed because she was real light that she was biracial, and I remember I was listening to her speak one day, and she was saying that she's like 36% European. So again, if I make a mistake, I have no problem standing corrected. As I said before, I am no expert. I am learning just like you guys, but I definitely have the basics down pat. Yeah. Former moderate Democrat, now I'm a libertarian with conservative leanings. Yeah, and I would say I have the same thing. A chess champ. No boots in their ankle was broken. Again, guys, hit that like button. So yeah, so that's where I stand. I would agree with what chess champ just said. Yeah, you can do for self while supporting the collective. You don't have to just be one of these people who, it's just everybody has to do for self, because some people don't have the capability, and some people have been victimized and wronged by this system, and that's just the reality. You know, that's just the reality of the situation, and we can't pretend like we don't know the history of this country. You know, so everyone's not as fortunate as I am to be able to do for self, and I get that. Yeah. So, answer a few more questions. Oh, we're in an hour and 10 minutes. So again, we're gonna end the stream here, guys. It's a Sunday night. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you for supporting the content. As I said before, I am developing as you are developing, as the ADOS information continues to keep coming out. I keep educating myself. I'm even rereading the book. Wow, I just had a When Affirmative Action Was White. This is my second time trying to read the book. It's a very wordy book. It's kind of hard to like put it all together. But again, I'm reading the book, taking notes and stuff like that. So that's where I'm currently at. And as I said before, I'm going to continue to evolve. I'm going to continue to keep growing with the content, with my political leanings and stuff like that. And that's it. So with that being said, everyone, hit the like button. Have a great night. And I will see you guys tomorrow.